Mixing music at its core is the art of achieving balance. Balance can be separated into 4 categories: volume, frequency, width, and depth. Within each category, there is the big picture and the small picture. In other words, how an instrument interacts with other instruments and how it sounds on its own. So, let's go over the 4 categories and how they interact with each other. First, volume. Volume is pretty simple. It is how loud everything is. The big picture. The louder an instrument is, the more easily it will be heard. Prominent instruments such as guitars or lead vocals should be louder. Background instruments should be quieter. Small picture. Individual instruments can sometimes fluctuate in volume, meaning sometimes the instrument can fluctuate between the background and the foreground. It is important to keep these fluctuations under control. Next is frequency. Each sound is made up of multiple frequencies, a fundamental, and a series of harmonics. These harmonics make up an instrument's timbre and are unique to each instrument. Big picture. Take note of the overall balance of frequencies across the whole spectrum. If there are too many high frequencies, the mix can sound thin and harsh, and if there are too many low frequencies, the mix can sound muddy and dull. Finding the right balance is key. Small picture. When 2 or more instruments occupy a similar frequency range, these frequencies can clash with each other, making it harder to hear each instrument clearly. We can find the specific frequencies that are clashing and boost or attenuate them to create more space for each instrument. Next up, we have width. Generally, music is mixed in stereo, meaning we have a left and right channel for the sound. Instruments can be placed anywhere along the stereo field. Big picture. The mix should be balanced across the left and right channels, both in volume and frequency. This means that if one loud sound is placed to the left, it is probably a good idea to place another one to the right, or vice versa. Generally, prominent instruments such as the snare, lead guitar, and vocals will be placed in the center. Basses and kick drums will also go in the center. Percussion and harmonic instruments can be towards the sides. Small picture. Width can also be used instead of volume or frequency to address clashing instruments. For example, 2 guitar parts are clashing with each other in the center of the mix. Instead of turning one down, you can simply put one guitar on the left and one guitar on the right. That way they each have their own space in the mix. Lastly, we have depth. Depth is the perception of how up close or far away an instrument is, and is usually done with volume and reverb. Big picture. Ensuring that all instruments are at their proper depth is crucial to achieve balance. You don't want to put every instrument up close, or else you risk making everything sound like the prominent instrument, making the mix less clear. It is important to always have instruments in both the foreground and background. Small picture. Generally speaking, louder instruments or instruments with less reverb will be more up front. Quieter instruments or instruments with more reverb will be further back. You normally will want to put prominent instruments at the front and background instruments further back. If you have successfully achieved balance in all 4 categories, then congratulations, you have created a fundamentally sound mix. But remember, these are only the basics. It is not a finished work yet. Now it is time to use your creativity to turn this foundation into a work of art. Good luck.